This is a typical day in Quagmire's life. No, not sorry. This is a typical day in Quagmire's life. Damn it. Hey, come back. Gujai noon pai lao. Gigog gudot longa bomum. Yeah, you slept with pretty much everything and everyone he can get his grubby little mitts on. And I'm here to tell you every single one of them. Starting, of course, with the hoax on Spooner Street. First up on our list is Lois. Quagmire's actually tried and technically succeeded at sleeping with his best friend's wife a couple of times. There's the time Peter lost his memory and kicked Lois out of the house. Quagmire wasted no time whatsoever swooping in. Pretty soon she was in his bed about to make the beast with 2 bags. That isn't to Lois tells Quagmire how much she trusts him. At least nice to know I'm in the arms of a trusted friend. You trust me? Uh-oh, is something wrong? I don't know. Quagmire fails to perform, and Lois gets back together with Peter. A swing and a miss, right? So when does he actually sleep with her? Well, in the episode of Meet the Quagmires, Peter goes back in time and screws up the timeline. By the time he comes back, he's married to another woman, and Lois is married to Quagmire. Pretty happily married, I might add. Hey, Lois, I'm ready for your pie. And you made dessert, too. Oh, I love all your jokes and your dirty puns. Let's go upstairs and do it. Okay? No, Peter goes back in time and fixes everything, and this still counts. They still had, even if it was a different timeline. Them's the rules, man. I don't make them. I do actually do. Speaking of sleeping with your friends' wives, next we move on to Loretta, Cleveland's ex-wife. Not gonna lie, this woman was kind of out of nowhere, to be honest. 1 second they're on a boat, they caught a fish. Hey, can I have a fish bat? You gonna have to reach into the cookie jar. What? You're my best friend's wife? Reach to there. All right, show that fishy who's boss. Hey, Quagmire. They're boinking splinking on Cleveland's couch. What was that? Shut up and put some of that sugar in my bowl. Is Quagmire not just the worst, man? Like, seriously, he just betrayed his best friend because he felt like it. He does the same thing to Joe, too. But unlike with Cleveland, you do it the gentleman's way. Lying. You gotta help me get laid. You gotta help me get laid. I've never had... What do you mean? You've had... a million times. I'm a virgin, Joe. Let me have with Bonnie. I guess so. You're a good man, Joe Swanson. What a pal. He actually agrees. Of course, Bonnie doesn't turn him down. Big surprise. She's cheated on Joe a bunch of times. That was your first time. I've had lots of times. I just wanted to have it again. And screw you. But to be fair, Joe's technically cheated on Bonnie as well, but I'm sure she won't mind. It was all a prank after all. The prank in question, though, tricking Quagmire into sleeping with him. Wow, that was terrific, Jessica. It was good for me, too. Ha! You said you were that waitress from Friendly's. But what? Happy Halloween, lies to women that trick them into bed all the time, so karma. Well, if you disagree, rest assured, because Glenn got some real karma later, and her name was Sonia. She was like an even worse version of Quagmire, if you could believe it. Of course, that made him immediately fall in love with her, especially after she roofied him during their date. First date, might I add. Even though you seemed like a sure thing, I really wanted to make sure. Oh my God, you roofied me? I'm in love. Yeah, I'm gonna add her to the list. They go on to do all sorts of insane, messed up things Quagmire loves to do, but she out-crazes him. In fact, she pushes Quagmire to go way beyond the boundaries of what he'd normally do, which is really saying something. I can't even imagine what twisted, deviant act you thought of this time to have with your father. Are you crazy? No! The thing we love most about each other is that we push each other way beyond our normal boundaries. Yeah, and he actually does it, too, and so I must add Edith to the list of people Quagmire slept with. The scene always has me wondering just what on earth the Family Guy writers smoked before they wrote these. Moving on from that, we'll talk about the women Quagmire hasn't just slept with, but married. Shocker, right? Yeah, he's married a few women as well. Like, take Joan, for example. Their marriage is going relatively well until he got over it and faked his own death. Hi, honey, I'm home. Yeah, oh, heart attack. Is he all right? No, he's dead. Are you sure? You know what'll prove it? When people die, they void their bowels. I said when people die, they void their bowels. Wow, what a jackass. Joan actually dies at the end of that episode, by the way, but she's still going in that list. There was also Carrie. She was into dogs, and Quagmire was kind of hoodwinked into the marriage. Anyway, that one also fell apart when Glenn couldn't handle the insane number of just mutts she had running around wrecking the place. There's something you need to know. I hate dogs. That's not even my dog. That's Brian, my neighbor's dog. Brian, say something. Brack. Bite me. There's another one for the list. Next, we have Charmise, the wonderful prostitute Glenn married after getting blackout drunk. I have $3.74. Do something to me. I love you. Excuse me, Lois, where's your bathroom? I gotta check on a whistling sound. Ah, match made in heaven. Glenn didn't feel the same way, though, and tried everything to wiggle his way out of it. Glenn even tries to convince her he's gay, but she doesn't take his word for it, though. So he's got to enlist the help of his best bud. Wait, to intertwine our bodies and make each other's fingers smell terrible. Bleh. Blah. Oh, yeah, that was so hot. Now take off each other's clothes. Oh, I'm sorry, viewer, I should have warned you. I hope you weren't eating during that part. It doesn't work, by the way, but she leaves the marriage anyway. Turns out Charmise is looking for true love, and Glenn wasn't it. You still had to the though, so that's on the list. By the way, I wasn't kidding when I said match made in heaven. Quagmire used to be a prostitute professionally, and Peter was his vamp too. So let's run through a list of his clients, shall we? Starting with the moment he decided to start having for money. I am a dancer, not a gigolo, and we were wondering if you'd have with her for $500. $500, dude. What? I'm in the wrong profession? Like you're attractive enough for that profession anyway. Ha, what the wrong channel, dude. Ha, we don't see exactly how many people Quagmire sleeps with, but eventually he needs some muscle to make sure his clients pay up. And that's where Peter comes in. You didn't pay my friend, so I'm gonna play with your doorbell until you pay up. Stop it! Fine, here's your money. Here you go. I'm gonna add the faceless woman to the list, too. From there, Peter and Quagmire form a team, and together they go around town handing out the sausage to replace any receptacle that'll have it. Never Working for a living. I'm taking what they give it, 'cause I'm working for a living. And Quagmire, that little bubblegum switcheroo definitely didn't stop him. And don't even get me started on that pizza thing. Peter'll just eat anything, huh? Pretty soon their partnership stops, with being a partnership and Peter transitions to being a full-on pimp, complete with fancy clothes and a pimp cup, of course. Also a backhand perfectly adorned for slapping. You want a party? And can I have some of your bread? Beacon has something in mind that smells like bread. Okay, let's go. Doesn't take very long for Peter to have Quagmire turning tricks on the streets. Hey, honey, you shopping for groceries? Shopping for groceries is what I say instead of do you want to pay me for... But go through with avocado. Feel like he bagged a few people's groceries working those streets, but we only see one, so I doubt only one. Quagmire keeps working the night until he ends up biting off more than he could chew. Big teeth, help! She wants to do chirping things. He hasn't eaten anything in days. It's not gonna work. 9! Yeah, she's got us both. Help us pimps and hoes. Some pimp he is. Peter can't even save him from getting Germaned all over. Wait, do I add her to the list? Yeah, I'm gonna add her to the list. At least Peter learned his lesson, right? Turning tricks ain't all that fun, and certainly not a game, and everything goes back to normal. Anyway, let's move on to the many random women Quagmire has boned over the years, starting with this random woman at the airport. I know you have a choice in airports, and I appreciate you choosing Quagmire. The contents of your panties may have shifted during coitus. Well, I forgot to mention he was supposed to be flying a plane at that time. More like he was supposed to be saving a plane that was about to crash. See, which gate is flight 209? That flight left half an hour ago. Oh my god, my friends are on that plane. They're all gonna die. What? And that's not the worst part. Here's the condom I said I put on. Huh? Aren't I just the worst? Really is the worst, isn't he? There was the time he stole yet another woman from Cleveland in the episode Law of Black Shuli. Pearl and Quagmire? Cleveland, close the window. You're letting the stank out. Wonder how these two are still friends after all that. I guess he's just used to Quagmire being a dirtbag. Speaking of dirtbag, that was great. See ya. But you said we were gonna get married. No, I only said that so you'd do doogity my geschmulligan. And there are the two, let's call them gifts she got from Lois's fancy event. My free au pair. And one for my wife. I'll be on my way. He also dated Ellie Hitler at one point. Yeah, that's literally her name. Hey, what the hell are you doing? He must be with a mystery girl. God, Quagmire on the librarian? Shh. He actually cheats on Quagmire because he couldn't make her, which is a little surprising to say the least. Moving on, there was a time he took home a girl with epilepsy. Why does her medical condition matter, you ask? Well, here's the setup. Clifford and Peter were flashing lights out their windows at each other to covertly communicate, and this is the punchline. Dude, it's amazing the kinds of jokes that the show can get away with. Next, we got Kimi, the buxom girl he took with him to a couples retreat with his friends. What the hell happened to you? Kimmy and I fell asleep on the beats. I think you better change. Okay, we'll be down in a minute. Yeah, they weren't a real couple. Quagmire just wanted to tag along. Bonus points to anyone in the comments who can tell me why there's a Kimi-shaped spot on his back as well. Then there was the time they let Quagmire out of his stand to perform magic tricks for children. Oh, what's that behind your ear? Oh, it's a condom. Stop touching my baby with a condom. For my next trick, I'm gonna split my beautiful assistant in half. Well, pity this. Not entirely appropriate for a birthday party, but hey, they invited him. When Quagmire isn't sleeping with random women, sometimes he just has random women he's kind of dating, like in the episode from Russia with Love. He starts dating a woman named Stephanie, what was his old bully. Lois Schmidt, what a small world. You have aged infuriatingly well. Did you both escape from the same cult? But also, how do I get invited to one? Oh, you just tell it. No, you go. Fine, I'll go. Tinder. Even though she's technically dating Quagmire, Stephanie just kind of vanishes after this episode. She's still going on the list. That's not the only Stephanie Quagmire's been with either. Glenn had a way different relationship with this other Stephanie, and by then, I mean he really didn't like her. It all depends on what his astrological sign is. Shut up. Maybe if I sit in his chair, I can get a reading on his energy. That's enough, Stephanie. He dies like 5 seconds after that clip, mind you. Quagmire was not upset at all. But then he does something regrettably on brand. He steals the body. Damn it. No, he does with that body. Something sick and depraved, that's what. Don't believe me. Oh, you'll be saying something else when we're done with this list. For now, let's talk about the time he escorted Lois on a fancy outing. Now, despite Quagmire being a massive horn dog, he didn't make a move on Lois. He just picked up a cocktail waitress instead. I want you to meet the cocktail waitress I'm about to sleep with. This is Jenna. You might remember her boobs from hovering over your shoulder while pouring wine. Look at that. Not trying to sleep with your best friend's wife. Still better than the certain filthy mud this video isn't about. Well, I mean, to be fair, he did sleep with Lois earlier, and with Loretta and Bonnie. I take it back, he's way worse than Brian. No, with all these women he slept with, it's a miracle his tape hasn't leaked by now. Well, it was a miracle until this happened. It is that? Quagmire, you're hooked up. Wait, it's on film. That's not all right. What if my dad sees it? You did it again, Glenn Quagmire. And that's the kind of thing that just happens in Quagmire's life, right? As you can imagine, living next to him must be a hoot. One minute you're seeing him screwing on TV, the next you walk out the front door and get a scene like this. Not doing that, Glenn. Come on, beautiful, keep an open mind. And keep it down. I don't want my neighbors seeing a fat old dirty or screaming at me on my front lawn. Well, maybe I should come inside. Or maybe you should. He's a sick man, all right. I can't even guess what depravity he was off, though. He's just that bad. After treating women so poorly over the years, you'd think the Quagmire was due for some cosmic epiphany about how his actions has affected others. Well, he technically does get something like that in the episode Valentine's Day in Towhog, an episode that started with him just being the absolute worst kind of person. After a wonderful night, I thought we could get some breakfast. See, you're supposed to be already gone. There's no breakfast. One of these days, you're gonna get what you deserve. You got an icicle foreman down there. Fix her out with no breakfast, no clothes, no warning. He's practically begging for that karma. After getting electrocuted by an electric tampon warmer, he finally gets a bit of karmic justice. Everyone else sees him and treats him like a woman now. But if there's one thing he's good at, it's making the best out of a bad situation. I'm gonna do things differently. Men are jerks. Let's find comfort in each other. You-ho! Oh, he doesn't learn his lesson. He gets 4 more people added to the list. I'm not even gonna get mad. Let's just move on to the next one, which happens to be the time Stewie and Brian mess with the timeline, and we got to see Quagmire have in reverse. Where does Quagmire meet these women? This is why Box Buster went out of business. Not the punchline I was expecting, to be honest. I mean, this is Quagmire. I'm kind of surprised he was even conscious to begin with. Net chicks might not be real, but in the episode The Dating Game, Quagmire finds something just as good, Tinder. He's pretty clueless with the app at first, and with a game like this, I'm surprised he's managed to get any of the people on this list. Eurus Teresa. I hope this finds you well. No, stop. Just send her an eggplant and the erupting volcano. Now, for a married man in his 40s, Peter's awfully good at this Tinder thing. His advice goes a long way, and pretty soon Quagmire lands himself a date. That was great, and we could still make our reservation. We already had, so I don't have to make small talk with you or spend any money. Here, wipe yourself off with this West Elm catalog. My God, this app is amazing. Every date is a strong word. Turns out Tinder makes getting laid like way too easy, and Quagmire goes on an absolute bender. Oh, feeling crazy. The night is easy. Let's get lost so where we can go, but no gonna. See, guys, I'm already going insane, okay? Please don't ask me how many times he asked. Why don't you calculate the volume of the mole, the volume of a single condom, then apply a pack and density factor to account for the spaces between each individual packet and extrapolate from there, okay? I'm a YouTuber, and at this point, I'm barely even that anymore. We're gonna go with 50. Quagmire gets ferocious with the swiping through. Heck, he starts doing it while doing it. Looking like a good time. Don't skate off my high. I just wanna leave tonight. I don't know how he did it, but Quagmire managed to sleep with a monster from the book Where the Wild Things Are. They said, think that's what that creature is. But trust me, that's not the worst thing Quagmire has hooked up with. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're still on Quagmire's Tinder phase. Speaking of which, Tinder turns Glenn into a real frackin' freakazoid. He is emaciated, living in Phil, just swiping all day. Somehow he's still getting laid. Glenn within 5 miles. I can take my glass eye out if you want to try something different. Maybe she's the one. Let's do it in the garage. We can do sweaters on, pants off. Yeesh, she's going on the list, I guess. Quagmire's friends take his phone away and stop him from using Tinder, thank frick. But he becomes so reliant on the app, he can't even pick someone up from the bar. After giving himself a pep talk, he picks himself up and gets back in the game. And by that, I mean he lies about burying his twin brother to the woman at the bar. I just feel like my shouldn't be alone tonight. All right. I guess he's going back to being a different kind of repugnant degenerate. One more to the list. Of course, this is not the only time Quagmire's found a quick and easy hack to get laid. In the episode Island Adventures, he gets Lois to teach him all about seducing middle-aged women. His first victim, a 44-year-old woman named Monica, sure has some neat pictures of sinks. What if we just bail on dinner and head back to my place? Great, I'm in. Apparently, he uses the knowledge to sleep with every middle-aged woman in town, but they don't show it, so it don't go on the list. Monica counts, though. We do get the scene where Lois confronts Quagmire for making her an accomplice in his dirty schemes. You were kind to me, and I took advantage of it. I owe you an apology. I'll buy you a coffee. Hey, beautiful, you want to take a pointless girl stride walk? Sure. Great. See you, Lois. Despite a story of alleged legendary conquests, the most we can get out of this one is 2 counts. Kind of like the episode The Boys in the Band, that Chris becomes Quagmire's personal assistant. We get a lot of implications, but not much we can actually work with. All we get is pretty much just this scene. Chris, could you please get Hannah a thank you basket and schedule her next appointment? Mr. Quagmire can fit in you at 3 o'clock a week from Thursday, and you know to fast the night before. And would you like to leave your panties in the fishbowl for a chance to win a free lunch? That's 1 count, and no, I will not be running a mathematical equation on this bull either. Sue me. In case you weren't aware already, not every one of Quagmire's encounters is 100% legal. A couple of them are actually completely illegal, and this man should not be allowed to see the outside of a jail cell ever again. Allow me to elaborate. There was a time he had for the high school girl. You have put this under rich girl. I don't want to go to jail, but I really want to take credit. You're under arrest for statutory. But let me just send the pictures I took of her last night to all my friends. Oh, yeah. Boom. We've got all the awesome evidence we need. So I'm guilty of madness to avoid prison time after his mom had an under-the-table agreement with the judge for leniency. But that's not even the worst one. That dubious award goes to what he did to Marge Simpson. It's devoted a lot of time and energy to expectation that it could grow into something much more significant. Well, then I gotta say, I've lost a lot of respect for it. Immediate prison, 500 years, immediate prison. I'm a completely fair and balanced judge, as we all know. Yeah, past my bar. I guess, yeah, that's pretty bad, right? But then he does something even more messed up. Hey, what's going on here? Get off my wife. Oh, my God. Whoa, I'm calling the police. Mom and Dad are dead. Who will pay for my saxophone lessons? Murders the entire family, just murders them. You know, I was gonna go on a whole thing about Quagmire's criminal history, but Harry made a video about that, thoroughly dissecting it. You should give it a watch. But hey, shouldn't we start talking about his crimes, though? Why don't we stick to with that, okay? I've got a lot of ammunition as well. Well, depravity of this man knows no bounds. So let's start with what? Yeah, you ask. This one from a deleted save. But are on the list. It's not a one-off thing, by the way. There was also that one time with the dead body of his wife. The wife he pretended to be dead, so they wouldn't stay married, by the way, just be entirely clear. Her name's Joan. Tries dying to protect Quagmire from death itself. How does he honor her? The death? Can you leave that body here for another 5 minutes? That's Quagmire. I can't count her twice, can I? But that is very vomit-inducing. I think it'd be a huge crime to not put this on the list. Not as bad as Wade did to Loretta, though. After Peter kills Cleveland's ex-wife, literally, time for United States of Terror. No. Wait, which daddy? Ah, look at her gross boobs. Well, that's it. Funny how Peter just kind of gets away with these things, isn't it? I miss when even a cutaway gag, Loretta just died for real. And guess whose job it was to bring her by to Cleveland, all the way in Virginia. Why is she wearing a French maid's costume? They want to nail a dead French maid. Giggity, giggity. Oh, I can't cut her toys either, but man, do I really want to. So instead, let's just run down the list, shall we? Necrophilia. What's next, zoophilia? Ah, why'd I have to ask, Gad, zoophilia? I'm into a lot of different stuff. Glad you hear something? Nah, it's all good. Fine. When it comes to animals, he doesn't even seem to care what they are. Game is game, apparently. He especially seemed to like giraffes a lot for some reason, huh? Couldn't imagine why. Like, listen to what he says, and Peter gets a giraffe and it pays him a little early morning visit. Morning, honey. That feels really good. What the hell? You're not the same giraffe from last night. Gotta hit. Not the same giraffe from last night, he says. Oh yeah, that's definitely going on the list. So what? You screwed one giraffe. It doesn't mean he's upset as they hit. Is what I would say if he didn't marry a different giraffe in another episode. Let me kiss the bride. I'm glad we waited. Giraffity. Yeah, see, that's not mine. No kind of unholy, abominable ritual he did to spawn that giraffe hybrid. But I think a new law should be made. He should get the maximum sentence to whatever it is. Speaking of his giraffe spawn, Quagmire has sired quite a few children over the years, and even though we don't get to see the women he slept with, we have evidence that he did sleep with them because we're gonna count the kids that they made. First, there are the children he saw in school when he came to pick Peter up. The name's Glenn Griffin. I'm here to pick up my son Peter for a doctor's appointment to look a lot more like that child over there. Daddy? Oh, God. Daddy? Papa? Oh, God. Do I even gotta say anything? Like, look at the jaws on those frickers. Quagmire must have some mighty powerful genes. After bumping into the 3 kids he definitely don't want, you'd think that he'd swear off sleeping with random people forever, but no. Hey, there are no kids in here, right? No? You want to have unprotected... Dang. Yeah, she's definitely gonna do it, and thus she goes on the list as well. Quagmire has much older children, by the way, like his Spanish son, for example. ¿Dónde demonios estás? Es más de la 1:30 de la mañana. Maldita sea, Giggity. A veces me pones furiosa. Me voy a ver los poros. Giggity, giggity, giggity. Once again, powerful genes. Makes you wonder what his daughter would look like. Oh, wonder no more, because in the episode No Giggity, No Doubt, we find out what his daughter looks like when he almost sleeps with her. It's blah, blah, blah. I'm just boring myself. I had a lot of fun with you tonight, Courtney. Me too. Oh, Courtney. Oh, Glenn. Oh, Giggity. Did you just say Giggity? Sometimes I just blurt that out when I get excited. Oh my God. Rub this up and down on the inside of your cheek. A couple more seconds there, now I have to add 2 more names to the list. This isn't even his only daughter either. OG fans will remember Anna Lee, the little girl left at Quagmire's doorstep. A baby. I didn't sell a baby. Look, there's a note. This is your child. Next time, wear a condom, jerk. Quagmire, it is no guarantee it's your baby. Giggity? I say that. So it's settled if it's a boy, he inherits the monster chin, and if it's a girl, he looks totally normal, but says giggity. With all his sleeping around, you'd think that Quagmire was incapable of actual love, but that's just not true. Out of all the women he's slept with, dated or married, there are 2 of them I'd say he's loved the most. One of them is his ex, Sujin. He loved her so much that he was willing to leave his friends, Quahog, his entire life behind to get back together with her and live in Korea. There was just one tiny little hiccup. She lives with her entire family tree. Good night, Glenn. Just so you know, 3 of my cousins have night terrors. Oh no! And the tree is like a grand oak or something. Yeah, he leaves immediately. Still on the list, though. Surgeon doesn't know the candle to the real love of Quagmire's life, however, the one woman he's always wanted but can never keep, Cheryl Teaves. Man, these past few weeks have been amazing. I think I'm falling in love. I feel the same way. I'm ready. You'd think that rug on his chest would be enough to end the relationship right then and there, but no, he fumbled her by being petty and immature. Cheryl, don't you think it's time for us to go now? I'm having a good time. Been talking to John Davidson for half an hour. Oh, hey, John. I like your work. Not. I'm starting to think this relationship is a mistake. Well, maybe it is. Carol was the true love he can never get back. Probably should have told Brian that story, though, because he ends up stealing Cheryl from him. I mean, she wasn't really his to steal anyway, but it still stung, right? So to get back at him, Quagmire starts dating Brian's ex, Jillian. So, how did you guys get together? Showed up at my door and said he was a federal boob inspector. He had a warrant. It was a Snickers wrapper, Brian. Quagmire and Brian get into a whole thing, fight each other, and scare the girls away. Tale as old as time, really. So, yeah, that's about every single person Quagmire slept with in the show, give or take a couple. I'm sure you're thinking that's not a very long list. There should be way more on there. Well, you're right. There's actually a lot more women. In the episode Fighting Irish, everyone comes together for Quagfest, a festival to celebrate Quagmire's long life of debauchery. Pay attention. Right, these are all of Quagmire's women organized by country. There's Italy, Thailand. Wow, they're young. We should go. So just how many encounters has he had here? 999, apparently. We even get to meet his very first, all the way from Wethersfield Elementary School, Miss Eleanor. Do I still get a piece of candy after? Well, that's disturbing. Honestly, I was expecting way more than 1,000, to be honest. But I suppose since we're here, we might as well see what his 1,000th encounter was. 1,000th conquest is this largemouth bass. Yeah, that's right. I'm weird. Weird is putting it lightly, my friend. After doing unspeakable things to that fish, his total goes up by 1,000, meaning according to my totally in-depth, unnecessarily long investigation into Quagmire's life, he's got a grand total of 1,109 people that he slept with, give or take a couple. Oh, and just so you know, Quagmire has every single STD known to man. Ha! Hepatitis C. Joke's on you, I already got it. Meningitis. I'm a carrier. Gonorrhea. I'm gonna have to do better than that. Show that shit. We're out of known diseases. So, yeah, good luck to all 1,109 of them, I guess. But guys, if you think that's insane, you might want to click the link on screen while you're here, cause I've got way more videos where this one came from. Trust me, Quagmire's not the most prolific villain out there.